Action! Hello and welcome to Faeland, specifically the first podcast episode on this channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like this video or wherever this podcast video is.
Word.
And check out my other content.
Double word.
I am your host, Faeland Freeman, and this is the Cinephotographer, specifically my boyfriend, specifically Luis Salcedo, specifically the first guest on the podcast.
That's me.
And you might be wondering, what are we going to be talking about?
Your mama.
So you're probably wondering what we're talking about today, and we're going to be discussing
serial killers, murderers,
people like that, and specifically the mistakes and the what the hell moments in the case that just kind of pissed me off. Now, I just want to say real quick that we're not like siding with the killer or saying that this is how they should have gotten away with it.
Killing bad.
Killing is bad, and we just basically we're going to be talking about their case, two specific cases. You know about one right now, not the other one. But yeah, why don't you just give a second to talk about what you feel like when it comes to serial killers and murderers, you know, and mistakes and stuff. How do you feel?
So obviously not a rational person's game. Not a game for someone who has their emotions in control. I wish it was as easy as say, hey, remember not to kill somebody, but there's a lot of wiring that goes on into something that extreme, I'm sure. It's just like, if you start, it's never the option, and if you think that's the option, get help, not a gun.
Yeah, I think the first thing we're going to discuss is the first case is actually one you don't know about, and it is the
Skylar Niece case,
which I found out about in high school, even though the murder took place when I was in middle school. Basically, this girl, Skylar Niece, was 16.
Okay.
And she lived in Star City, West Virginia. And her two best friends, Sheila, Eddy, and Rachel, Shoaf, took her into the woods, into a deserted area, and brutally stabbed her to death. And just left her there, and they were supposed to be her best friends. This is a real long story short.
Mm-hmm.
So to get into the details about the case, the stuff that is the title of the video that pisses us off, is the shocking thing that happened at the police station. So 6 months, not a month or whatever, but 6 months after Sheila and Rachel stabbed Skylar to death.
Which, by the way, disgusting. How are you gonna stab your best friends to death, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
did you have any questions on actually anything before I move on, or?
So it sounds pretty dun shut in, close, friends, thinking that was a perfectly reasonable option, and maybe watching too many girl disappears TV shows, but not cool. Was like Big Little Lies one of those TV series?
Pretty Little Liars.
Pretty Little Liars, yeah.
But
you see these Pretty Little Liar wannabes.
Yeah.
And they even keep going, right?
Well, I mean, they were at a sleepover, and she saw them both making out like they had a lesbian relationship or something, and so they think that's the motive for why they killed her. But they just said that they just didn't like her anymore, and it's just like.
Wow, interesting.
They just didn't like her, and
well,
so
they could still be trying to hide the whole lesbian thing by not bringing that up, for sure.
Well, they both married wives in prison, so they have.
Oh, they're not even together.
I mean, I don't think they're in this. I think they're in the same prison, and then I think one of them got married to a woman, so it's like that's. I mean, I'm not saying that's the motive, but
Yeah.
but as I was saying, to keep on track, the thing that's gonna bring up maybe what I think is our surprise is what really shocked me about this case, really made me kind of like, what is, so like I said, 6 months later, Sheila, was perfectly just, she's fine, and then Rachel Shoaf was cracking. She, was not going to school. She was getting into fights with her family members.
Okay.
She got into her mom had to call the cops on her, and then she went to a mental, place for a minute.
So she was definitely dealing with some moral repercussions. Probably couldn't face her co-students after doing that to one of them.
So what really made me like, wow, is she goes to the police station, and with her lawyer, she tells the police, with a wastebasket pulled up to her, we stabbed her. We counted to 3, and we stabbed her, and we left her in the woods. And that's not the shocking part, because we already know that they killed her. The shocking part is they let her go, because the police said just because she told us straight up what happened, she lied to us before. Sheila lied to us before. So why would we take her word? And so for a couple of months, Rachel was still walking free.
Yeah.
And I think
very backwards. Policing.
That's what.
For months too.
For months. She, not like she was basically free for like basically a year and a half. Just living her life after she told that.
That's like the state of our policing system. Someone could admit a crime.
Exactly.
And they could still be walking around.
That's. I told you I was gonna get this loud.
There are people who like go to jail and they're like the bystanders. They're just walking by and then they get picked up. How are they not looking at this person who just straight up confessed with a lawyer present?
Yeah.
With a lawyer present.
It's really crazy, because you just ask yourself, like, so if a man walked in with blood covered all over him and like a woman's heart in his hands, and he had a videotape of what he did and exactly where the body was, or they're gonna be like, well, yeah, but he lied about something on his job application, so we can't really, trust him right now. We're gonna have to wait. You know what I mean? It's like that's.
They're using some cinematic logic right there.
It's ridiculous that they had somebody. They didn't know what happened to Skylar. She said straight up what happened to Skylar exactly, and they still let her go. So how do you feel like that's enough for the surprise, or what do you think? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we deserve a surprise.
All right. So what is a surprise? The surprise is that whenever he felt disgusted by a detail in a case, or just a little creeped out, or just feeling something, we're gonna take a shot to calm us down. We are back to talking about the Skylar Neese case.
Yes, best friends, killing another best friend, and then admitting to it, and then not being arrested for months later.
Yeah, so another crazy couple of details.
Yeah, more details? Let's go.
A couple more details before we move on to our next case is people actually overheard Rachel and Sheila talking about how to hide a body, how to kill somebody. Specifically, Sheila told one of her friends, straight up, I wouldn't care if Skylar just died, or I wish that, Rachel said to somebody, I wish that she would just drop dead. And they even told Skylar, hey, your friends are like straight up saying that you are going to die, you know what I mean? Because your friends, your friends are trying to kill you. And she's like, oh, it's just friendship stuff, you know what I mean? And so then to get to the next detail, they actually played a game. While they were planning her murder, a month before, they were planning, while they were planning her murder, they played a game that one of them recorded called How Do You Want to Die? Or Would You Rather? So Sheila asks Skylar and Rachel, would you rather want to get shot or drown? Would you rather want to suffocate or get eaten by ants? Would you rather want to go into a car crash or get put off a cliff? Like, it's crazy because Sheila, I'm going all over the place because this is obviously this is the details coming one by one.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of red flags still.
Yeah, Skylar knew Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
Skylar knew Sheila from childhood, from preschool, you know, and it's like you grow up with somebody from preschool till now, and you know, after hanging out with them and everything, I mean, it's so crazy because I think about when I first heard this case, I thought about my friends, you know, the ones I made in preschool, elementary, middle, high school now. And there's some that I really love and I wonder where they are now. And there's some that I really can honestly say the word hate. There's people that entered my life that I can honestly say has left a really like shitty mark.
Yeah, but you're not chasing after them, right? You've moved on. You moved on.
Yeah.
The best revenge is to live the best life you can.
And that's gonna, this, what he just said right there is definitely gonna play into our next case. And we'll circle back to that, so we have to remember what he just said there.
Mm-hmm. Let's learn to move on. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's learn to move on. But the next, okay, we'll move on now, actually. So the next case that we're going to be talking about basically takes the lesson moving on and just kicks it in the dirt, basically. You know, think about moving on and having everything you ever dreamed of and then having it ripped away because of a selfish act that you committed because you couldn't possibly fathom somebody having the same dream as you. How do you feel about that?
Shitty, to be honest. Again, like, the fact that anybody would interrupt someone's life, that anybody would fuck with someone's life to that degree, personally, is like, there's a million other things you should be doing to get your life together, you know? This shouldn't be on the list to betterment, to focus, you know? You know?
The next killer that we're going to be talking about, which kind of sets this example right there, is
Stephanie Lazarus. Now,
oh man, her case really, I mean, when I heard about it, it really just made me like not empathize with her or pity her or give her any type of like leniency. It just made me go, wow, like you really made your own bed because you really just couldn't let things go, and I'll tell you why. So, basically, to start off with our details that will piss us off is the fact that basically Stephanie Lazarus in the 1970s joined UCLA on a sports scholarship, and that's where she met John Rutten, and he was also there on a sports scholarship. And they didn't really like officially date. They didn't have the title boyfriend and girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Should I get you a pen and paper?
No, it's improv, baby.
Okay.
It's yeah.
I like that. Thank you. Tell me, can you go back on what I just said?
So they were at college, and then she was all like, "Ayo, fam.
Yeah.
I like the shape of your butt crack."
So, basically, they didn't have an official title. They didn't call each other boyfriend and girlfriend. They didn't go to each other's houses or, you know, family member stuff. You know, maybe, but they didn't call each other boyfriend and girlfriend.
So at best, friends with benefits kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
They both even dated different people while dating each other. Definitely friends with benefits.
Ooh, cheating.
Yeah, and so John wanted to have, you know, start his life. I feel like a certain point at college, you know, you gotta leave and start your life, have a family, kids, whatever, if that's what you want.
You grow past the fuckery?
Exactly. You grow past the fuckery and having, you know, just shit and giggles at night. You want something serious. You want to hold somebody and know that they're gonna be there in the morning. And that's when he found a girl named Sherry. I'm forgetting her last name. I'll put it up right now on the screen. But Sherry basically was a nurse. She was a great woman. She wanted, you know, to help people out. She loved animals. She was just overall, you know, and that's always the cliche thing when people talk about, you know, victims, is, oh, she was a great person or whatever. But generally, like, Sherry seemed like a generally good person. She just wanted to help people out and be there and be a mom and be a nurse and just, yeah. So in 1985, John and Sherry get married. And and basically Stephanie is just not, she's just not having it, you know what I mean?
She's not coping healthily, you know.
She's not. But John wasn't the best either, because after getting married to Sherry, Stephanie would come around and, you know, and I don't want to say skimpy outfits or judge anybody, but obviously, you know, just putting on the extra va-va-voom to, you know, attract John.
Yeah.
And
disrespectful outfits, you know.
Outfits that, you know, you shouldn't be wearing around somebody's husband. Let's just say that. I mean, we're not victim shaming here. She was not even a victim. What am I even saying?
Yeah, she's the killer.
She's the killer.
She got off on making the wife of John feel uncomfortable with her over-sexualized outfits.
Exactly. And so she would come over, and there's incidents where she'd be like, hey, John, can you wax my skis? Can you help me wash my car? And he would do it, but the worst thing is that she straight up was like, will you have sex with me? And he did it. And he did it. And it's like,
most pussy all feels like, guys, there's no need to cheat.
You know, it's like, the thing that really, in the words of Mr. Gigi, you know, the cake is still in the refrigerator. You just said the vows. Like, you just got married, and you're still giving this person, like, that's an addiction right there. And I've been in a relationship where it is an addiction. You know, you after a while, just like any type of addiction, smoking cigarettes, you know, after a while you just realize, like, you do anything, you know, to be with this person, and you just gotta, like, cut it off cold turkey because you're married. Like, more stuff is in play, you know? But basically what happened is Sherry came over. Sherry was at her house. John left for work. And Stephanie came over. And she just completely tortured Sherry in the sense of breaking into her house, messing things up, hitting her in the head with a vase, and then she also struck her with her revolver, her .38 revolver. She, you know, made it look like it was a robbery because she was a detective, so she knew how to make it look like it was a robbery.
She tried changing the MO of the situation. What's the motive? Oh, it looked like a robbery gone wrong. But
even then, like, you can have the perfect murder and still make mistakes because stuff didn't make sense. The way stuff fell over, stuff wasn't stolen. Like, it didn't make sense. But she basically, after hitting and slapping and tying her up, she wrapped a quilt around her .38 revolver and then shot Sherry 3 times, and her, like, one time hitting her face, the other 2 shots in her body. And, you know, John came home and discovered her. And there's, you know, I mean, I want to feel bad for him because obviously it's his wife.
Uh-huh.
But at the sense, it's like,
He goaded an unstable woman. So, the poor man, John.
yeah. Ooh. Oh, I found the snack. It's gonna be an ASMR now.
No, I'll try to restrain myself. But it's there for motivation.
Yeah, but John, he found his wife. She was dead on the floor.
Yeah.
And,
this fuck buddy should have been able to move on.
It's the fact that after she killed, Sherry, took away this man's wife, the chance to have kids, a family, dreams, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he loved her, I'm assuming. He chose her over another woman already once, you know?
Exactly.
And ended the friends with benefits things. Or tried to, at least. You know, he he still cheated, which, you know, only goaded her on, only made her feel more passionate for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so what really upsets me about this case is the fact that after she killed Sherry, she went on to have a life. She didn't talk to John. She she only saw him once in the 90s, and that's it. She went on to have a husband and went on to be a lead detective, and she adopted a kid. I think she might have had a kid, like, with herself, but, like, she adopted a kid for sure. And so the thing that pisses me off is, like, you know, it's just how sad that, you know, she had everything going for her. Lead detective, a husband, a kid, you know, having a life. And then because she just had an itch or a scratch or, like, something that she just had to, you know, like, just like an addiction or like a, I hate to be, like, you know, gross, but like a scab that you just have to pick off. Like, she just had to kill Sherry and ruin his life so she can know that she can live her life, you know what I mean? And then now she's sitting in jail and everything's gone, you know? And it's like, man, if she just, you know, took a breather, went home, and just didn't kill Sherry, everything that she had would have...
She was fully capable of loving and adopting before killing just as much as she was after killing. Yeah, she absolutely didn't have to do it.
Exactly.
It's, you know, and you know, Sherry also had parents, probably siblings, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. You know, friends that this traumatized. Don't, you know, you'd hate to be fucked up that way, have someone you love randomly killed. So don't spread that kind of ill into the world, you know?
Yeah.
That type of sickness, like...
It's...
People are fully capable of moving on.
It's
you
very...
You can do
it. You know, it's... And that's the thing, it's like years... Really, you know, time goes by. That's the thing that, you know... As a kid, you don't think it. As a teenager, yeah, but... I mean, time... goes by, and it's really crazy how, like, after committing a murder, as time was going by, she, you know, did everything that you should do in life. And it's just the fact that if she just didn't commit that murder, time would have gone by. She would have, you know, I mean, you know, it's the fact that she didn't even try to go after John after committing this murder. Like, she killed Sherry and then just left and didn't even try to be with him. It's so... It's like, it's really mind-boggling. It's really crazy how selfish people are.
You do the extreme, and then you don't even stick around. Because, to be honest, you probably can't stick around. You can't look at somebody who's devastated, who you just took away someone they love, you know?
Yeah.
If you do this, you're not gonna stick around. You can't stick around, like...
Yeah.
Of course, you know, she did the rational... Well, she was never rational, you know? She probably just ran away at the end because, well, it probably got too much for her.
There's so many parts of murder cases where... I mean, when you watch a TV show about, like, cops, and the troublemaker cop... You know, you're not following orders and shit. Like, they're doing what cops should be doing. Okay? Go, you know, like, really actually trying. Because it's just kind of mind-boggling that somebody can straight up say, I committed a murder. Nothing happens. And then it's also the fact that, that basically somebody can, you know, commit a murder and then just completely move on and have a completely separate life after achieving, like, what did they achieve? Okay, like, you know, and in the words of John, like, it's really sad because, you know, he's like, because of me meeting me, like, she died because of me. And I don't really think that. It's just like, man, like, you know, Like,
Shoot.
Stephanie...
The blame game, you know?
Yeah, Stephanie's not going to kill John.
Of him, sure.
Yeah.
The blame game is always hard, but you know, it was an unstable person who did that, and sometimes I'm sure he was, how could you not know she was unstable, you know?
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you can't tell, sometimes you're still in love with her maybe, that you won't see past the flaws. You really gotta have one foot on the ground when you interact with other human beings, because they can be cuckoo for Cocoa Pants.
Yeah, it's completely crazy. And Stephanie still, like, I think she pled guilty, but I think she's pleads her innocence, and the only evidence really that doesn't add up is there was male DNA found at the scene, but Stephanie Lazarus, you know, her DNA did match in the bite mark in one of Sherry's arms. There, you know, one of the other details is the fact that one of the deputies in the early 2000s was like, hey, I think Stephanie is connected to this case. She was, you know, it seems really convenient and stuff. And they were like, oh, the officer, the LAPD officer, yeah, she's not connected to this. So they have like a pack or something, you know, that, I mean, it's crazy.
Kind of like a blue protects blue kind of thing.
But she showed up to the hospital where Sherry worked and completely disrupted it. But I think the craziest thing about Stephanie Lazarus is her confession tapes, which you can find online. And, you know, she just gives these really, I mean, she's an officer, she knows how to act under pressure, but she gives these crazy facial expressions that, like, I mean, it's really crazy to see a killer, like, under pressure and get caught, because, like, I mean, there's killers that are completely insane or just like, yeah, I killed him, but there's people that are just like, I killed somebody and then lived a life for like 25 years, and now I'm like finding justice for it.
That shock must be dramatic for sure. That must be like
crazy.
Whoa, that must be like, I thought that was a fart, but it wasn't, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's something. So, all right, what is something that you found pretty chilling or wow about the case that deserves a shot?
The fact that this person could be passionate about someone stealing a boo, torturing the woman, killing the woman, and then just leave. Like, I mean, I'm sure he'd be worse off if she stuck around. Like, she'd probably realize, like, oh, this guy kind of sucks. I can murder him too, and kill him too. But, you know, people could, like, be over-associated, over-connected to the point of murder for some reason, but not enough to see it through. Like, you don't really love, you know, she never loved John, you know? Like, what? Like, this was maybe someone who, I don't know, but
I mean, the fact that, you know, what ties everything together with both these cases that we talked about is the fact that after committing these crimes, you know, these people try to have a normal life, try to go to prom, start, you know, a family, didn't go after John, didn't, you know, I mean, they try to have a normal life. And it's just crazy because it's just like, I mean, I guess the psychology of, like, there's people who murder for certain reasons, right? But then it's the psychology of, like, having an urge to, like, just, like, you know, kill somebody and then just, like, have a normal life. Like, just be normal. It's so weird.
I feel like killing is the ultimate temper tantrum.
Yeah.
And once they get their temper tantrum, because everybody as an adult has had a regular temper tantrum where maybe you throw some technology, you punch some walls, and then you realize, holy shit, that was an overreaction. You know, like, some people might be able to control a breakup better to not get to this point, but, like, I feel like most kills are like temper tantrums, you know, people who don't have emotional stability after the age of, like, you know, 18. I'm sure they graduate high school and they think they're golden forever, but then, like, high school is like, doesn't fucking, you don't know, about being a person dealing with your emotions after that, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, people just...
And that's the thing, too. Like, I mean, you know, I understand that there's, like, really severe bullying and, you know, really shit things happen in high school. I mean, me and you
and in
went to high
personal
school.
lives.
Yeah, but I mean...
familial lives.
Man, like, once you... I mean, it's like, once you get out of high school, like, nobody gives a shit what adults do. And it's like, for them to think that... I mean, I get it. It's like, you know... to be in Virginia and to maybe be let out as a lesbian or something, I understand them being a little scared because that town's really, like, you know, I don't know how they act like that, but how they act around that stuff, maybe crazy, but...
Might be really conservative.
But I mean, shit, it's...
Which is why you shouldn't be, because then people feel pressure to kill.
Yeah, but look at them now. Now they're married to women in prison. Like, it didn't matter. Like, I don't think that was the motive. I think that they just, you know, when you're a kid, you really want to impress your friends, and for some reason, some people have the peer pressure of, like, I gotta do this because you just got to, and then you do it. You know what I mean? You just fucking do it. Yeah. So, alright.
Don't get into that mental loop. You don't have to do literally anything in the world, especially not kill. You know? Just fucking... Hey, there's a million other things in life to focus on that can improve it much more than being wanted for something extremely disgusting.
Exactly. So, yeah, we're gonna take one more shot.
Yes, because human beings be disgusting.
Yeah. Well, wait. What did we end on? Like, what had disgusted you to take a shot, or what made you creep out?
Oh, like the heartlessness. Like you could be overly connected to somebody to the point of murder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this person so much, so I'm gonna. If I can have him, no one can have him. But then just dip out, you know. Like, I don't know if there's a level of I deserve you, I deserve this, I deserve to cause pain. But, like, no one deserves anything, y'all.
Yeah.
Life is work through and through.
Yeah, it's,
Even us setting up all these lights and shit.
Yeah, don't be...
Work is work.
Don't, you know, treat yourself like a doormat either. Because, I mean, hell, I've been around, like, friends that straight up, you know, have a lot of nets to fall on because they know that people will help them out and things like that. I'm not saying like people helping people out is bad. I'm just saying that it's really crazy when you're in a situation in a group of friends or family when, like, you know that if this person fails, you're gonna be there to help them out. But if you fail, like, are they gonna be there to help you out? Are they gonna give a shit? You know, for some reason they say something to you, and it's perfectly fine. You say something to them, and then all of a sudden it's like crazy. You know, it's like just look at the signs of people. You know, the early signs of, you know, not everybody's a killer, but not everybody is worth hanging around. Yeah. So to that, let's take our shots to that.
Yeah. Okay. Woo.
All right. So we are taking our shots to picking up the signs of people and treating yourself better. Because you're worth it, you deserve it, you're beautiful, I love you. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean,
also get some chaser.
I wish people could be comfortable around other people, but at least for a while, you have to be able to suss the people around. And if they're clear, you know, start relaxing, start easing into it. But you don't want to get stuck with a psycho as a friend, because, like, sure. You don't want to leave them alone either, because they're human beings before they kill, you know. But, hey, be smart. If someone's dangerous, you have no obligation to anybody.
Exactly.
Nobody deserves your life, you know. Alright.
You're right. So, to the victims of this episode, we hope you rest in peace, and we're very sorry. This shot is to you. And from now on, each podcast that consists of this type of episode material, the last shot will be dedicated to the victims. Other than that, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we hope you check in next time. I am Faeland Freeman.
I'm Luis Salcedo, the cinema photographer.
please check out his channel on YouTube and subscribe and like and ring the bell for my content and his content. For me to you, this is welcome to Faeland, and let's do it.
Alright, let's do it. Remember, there's a better way in life. There's better options.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.